Welcome back. Previously, we treated the object 2, so now we're going to background. So let's remove this thing. So the first thing we'll be seeing here that will pop up in this option are these. These are the options that will pop up in this tool. We have the color, which can be used to change the background color of your design when you are designing. So if you go to color, you can see you can change it to anything you want, any color. You also have the color gradients, which you can use to give different shades of color. You have already existing ones. You can also create it yourself by hitting this plus sign here. You can see all this thing represents the color 1, 2. So it means that there are 2 shades of color here. If you want to add more color to this, you tap this plus sign, it will create another. If you keep tapping it, will keep adding more. If you want to remove anyone, you just click it and tap minus, it will go. You can move from one color to another by tapping this. You can see you can interchange them by using this. It will just be switching positions. So anyone you want to change color, if you tap it, this one represents here, this one represents this region, this area here, this one represents here, and this last one represents here. So if you want to change the color, just tap this one, then go to color. Let's change it to something like this. Okay, you tap this one, go to color, you tap this one, go to color. You can see you can use this one to switch. So these are just different positions of the color depending on how you want it. So let's go with this. Okay, so the next option here is transparent. So this can be used to remove the background color and make it to be transparent. It is normally used when you are doing with logo. Maybe after designing a logo here, you cannot save it together with the background, you have to remove the background. So let's take for instance that we have okay, let's take this thing as let's take this as our logo. You understand? So if you want to save it, you just have to go to background and remove the background. You can do this for anything that you don't want to save together with the background. You just go to transparent and remove the background. If you hit transparent, it becomes transparent. You can now save it as a PNG. You understand? PNG is a format when there is no background in anything. It means it's in PNG format. There is no background. It's transparent. So that's how this one works. So normally works as if you go to save now to save it, you see the format PNG. It's already in PNG format because you remove the background and made it transparent. Okay, so let's bring back the background. Let's just remove this. Now we have the image size. This image size, you can see this thing has dimension. This is like a square dimension, that is 1:1. The ratio is 1:1. So you can actually decide to get a size like this or something bigger than this. So you go to sizes, you have the custom size. If you want a YouTube thumbnail, it has its size. You understand? It has its dimension. So these are just like a preset. You understand? It's a preset. So if you go to YouTube thumbnail, you can see the dimension, you can see the width and height. Just click OK. You see Google Plus cover photo. So all these things are normal sizes of all these stuffs. Maybe if you want this one will give you the normal size of a profile picture. This one will give you normal size of YouTube channel banner. This one will give you normal size of a thumbnail. This one will give you normal size of Facebook cover, Twitter header size. So anyone you select, you see the actual dimension. These are just presets. You can see. You can also use your hand to set this. You understand? You can set it manually. This option here. You can set it to any dimension you want. You can see. So this is how this one works. Then we have crop. So this crop doesn't work in normal background. It only works when you are using image as your background. So let's check. For instance, image. Well, these ones are also system images that you can use as your background. You can see. So once you are using something like this image here, or the one imported from your gallery as your background, that's when that crop sign will start working. For instance, let's use this. Okay, you can see the crop option is now enabled. If you go to crop, it will simply enable you to crop this. Maybe you want from here. As you can see, you can only move the edges. You can move up, you can move here. So what we are going to do is to unlock it here. That is to click here, so that you see how it was before. You can only adjust the edge, but you cannot adjust using here. So what I did is to click on this place. You can see this red line below it, so it doesn't have to be there. So once you click it, you can see this point will appear. You can now use it to drag. You understand? So all this thing will just enable you. If you crop it like this and click OK, you see. So this is just like cropping it to the size that you want. If you tap here, it will fit in. You can select anyone. You can see select that 1:1 here. The same thing that you can select in image size. You can use this crop option to also adjust it to a size you want. If it is image, you can flip it as well, any direction you want. So let's just go back to normal size square. Then we have from gallery. So this is just like importing the background from your gallery. You want to use an image from your background as from your gallery as the background, so you just have to hit the from gallery option. Get anyone you want to use. Let's say you want to use something like okay, let's get any picture. Maybe you want to use this. Okay, let's get this. You want to use this as your background. You can see. So you tap here to fit in so that the full image will come out. Okay, so this is our background now. We imported it from the gallery. So if you want to use any picture from your phone as the background, so this is where you get to do that from gallery. Then from camera, this is where you now open. That's when you get a live image. You open your camera and snap anything you want to use as background. So you can now design with this if you want to use it as your background. So that's how this works. So there's no much thing here. Then the next thing here, we have this. This is just like a filter or adjustment where you can adjust your background. For instance, you can rotate the background. You can see. You can add a vignette. Enable. You can change the color anytime. You can see. So let's just disable it. The next thing here, noise. You can add background noise. All this thing depends on the purpose of your design, what you want to use it for. If you need the noise, you can add it. You can add stripes. So all this thing depends on the purpose. You might not need it, you might need it. Then we have the brightness, so you can adjust the brightness. The contrast too. So all these things will affect the background. Also the hue, you can change the color. You can change the color of the hue. Saturation. So basically these are the things you do here. So with this, we have come to the end of the tools found in the bottom of the Pixellab You understand? So we are going to move to the tools found at the uppermost part of the this designing app. Then once you have to understand is that all the tools found here are also here. So some of the tools found here are just shortcuts to the ones seen at the bottom. You understand? Many of them are just shortcuts to the ones seen at the bottom. So let's start from here. Okay, first of all, let's just take this thing back. Or okay, let's just leave it. So let's start from here. This plus sign, you can see tests which we have treated, current days. If you just click it, it will bring up the current dates, something like this. You can see it. We have sticker, which we have seen down. We have shapes, which we have seen from gallery. This is background when you want to import the background from the gallery. Draw, we have seen that. So they are mainly like shortcuts. Then we have this option, save. So in this save option, you can do two things here: save as project and save as image. So once you save as project, that means you can be able to revisit your work anytime. For instance, let's save this as project. You can name it. If you go to project, you see it. That's the first thing here. Then you can save as image. So these are the options you can see here before saving. If you want to, at times when you want to save images like this, you can just go and use PNG. Saving images as PNG gives it a higher quality. You understand? So it's advisable to save your images as a PNG. It will remove the background. You understand? What? It will still keep the images there, unless it's an image that is not that is just at the center of the whole stuff, that is doesn't occupy the whole images. That's when, if you change to PNG, you'll be seeing the background. That is for logo. You understand? But for full images like this, if you are saving and change to PNG, it will remove it will make it transparent, but you cannot see it here because this image is occupying everywhere. But it gives it a higher, but the point is that when you save as PNG, it gives it a higher quality. Then you can further go to this place and use ultra. This ultra will also increase the quality. Then you can now save. Another thing you can do is share. Okay, if you go to save, share. This share is just like, either you want to export it to other apps, you can go to share. Sorry, you can go to, yes, once you go to share, you can send it to maybe Lightroom or any place. You can send it to other apps. You can send it to Snapseed, WhatsApp. You can send it anywhere, just like sharing. Then we have this option here, as in the same thing as sharing, which we have talked about. You can also save things here. So many of the tools at this top are just shortcuts or repetition of other tools. You can see the same thing we just treated now. Then we have this option, codes. This thing, you can see it here too. So they are the same thing. And we have this option here, which are also shortcuts of what we have seen before. Use images from gallery, that is for background. Full screen, this one will just give you a full screen. You see, export images, which we just saw when we are saving. Image size, all these things are shortcut. And these ones is just we don't need it for any designing, unless you just want to explore what is there. Then coming down, we have, okay, we have this button. Okay, we have this button. This is just for test. You understand? If you click here, you see we have treated this, so it will just take you back. This one for size, which we have treated. So all these things here are just repetition of what we have done. We have to delete. If you want to delete anything, delete. Undo to bring it back. Zoom just like the name is, use it to zoom anything. Then we have this grid. It will add a grid line to your image. It helps in positioning. You understand? When you are designing, it will help you to position your tests or images. So it serves as a guideline. For instance, if I want to, okay, let me change this thing to normal color here, maybe white. So when you are designing, margin is very important, alignment. So once you open this grid, just click here. If you click here, then you can be able to move all this margin. So if you are not designing, in order to make sure, okay, once you are done, you just click here again. So if you are not designing, you make sure that anything you are doing doesn't pass these lines. So this will create a margin. It will make your design look organized and arranged. You understand? So anything you are designing, make sure it doesn't pass this margin. So all these grid are used to create orderliness. You understand? To guide what you are designing. It should not pass certain lines so that everything will look orderly and arranged. So with these options here, you can use it to add more grid. This one you can use it to add vertical grid. Sorry. So if you select any of these vertical grid and hit this, you see add more vertical grid. If you click on horizontal grid and hit this button, you can see this plus sign. It will be adding more. So this one, you can see the cancellation sign. It is used to remove to delete any grid you just added. If you tap on this and click, it will delete the grid. So this one is just like adjusting the position of the grid, which you can use your hand to move. And this one is bringing it back to its normal form, the way it was arranged before. Then this particular sign is called snapping. Snapping. You can use to snap anything. For instance, if you select this, it will help you to know when you are at the center of a line. So when you say, well, just unselect this one, you can see. So when you get to the center of the line, it will show. So you know that you have gotten to the center. It enables you to position something. You can see. So this thing is at the center. It will help you to know when you have gotten to the center of any line. Like this one, you have gotten to the middle. Once you move and get to the middle. So this one helps in positioning. If you want to get it to the center of anything, to the middle, it helps you to know when you have gotten there. Then this option here, layer. This option is for layer. Okay, let's just add more items here so that we can appreciate. Let's add. Let's add more. Let's also import pictures. So with this now, if you go to this layer now, you will see many layers. So everything you import or create will have its own layer. So now we can manipulate many things in this layer. For instance, let's bring this thing close to this place. One, two, three, four. So there are 4 layers here. If I want this one to be at the top, I'll just click here and drag it up. See, if I want it to come down, I'll just hold here and drag it down to go to the back. If I want this one to come up, so you can be able to move anything here to arrange it, whether to the back or to the front. You can do that by just dragging. You can also edit the individual image by, for instance, if you hit here, you can also send it back. So there are some shortcuts. These are also shortcuts. So things you can do here. You see. So you can use this option. So it's just like shortcut to, maybe this thing is at the back like this, and you cannot be able to access this image at the back without shifting this one. So you can be able to access it without touching anything. You just need to go to background and go to the image, then go to click here. If you want to send it to the front, you send it. You can see. So I did all this thing without touching it. I'm just manipulating it from here. You can do the relative position from here without touching anything. The another option here is this. Another important option is this lock. This lock sign. So once you lock anything, any other movement will not affect it. Any movement, if you are moving any other thing, because while designing, you'll be touching many things. At times, you'll be things that you positioned will be moved by mistake. You understand? So after designing anything, you can just lock it. If I lock this circle now, any other thing I'm doing, this one will not be affected. That's when I've gotten what I want in this one. I will just lock it while designing, so that my hand movement will not affect it at all. It will just be still. You can use it to lock anything. If in any case I feel that the images here are clouded and I just want to work on this particular picture here, I can hide every other thing. I can hide this one. I'll just tap this eye sign. If I tap it, it will hide everything. I just want to leave only this one, so I'll just hide everything by tapping this sign, this eye sign, and these two. So I'm now left with only this thing. So if I want to work on it, I'll just unlock it. Then I can now do whatever I want with it. When I'm done, I can now review these ones. You understand? So you can always hide anything so that you can see space and work. And also lock anything you don't want to move. So with this, we have touched all the tools in Pixellab. We have touched everything. Okay, another thing. See another thing we need to know. I think this is the last thing here. This option here. This option is used to merge images or objects or anything. It can use for merging. So this is merging option. So if I want to merge this, for instance, let me place this thing. Okay, let me unlock. If I want to merge these two, this circle and this image, I'll just go to this layer. I'll click here. Then I'll select the images, the objects I want to merge. I want to merge this and this. So after merging, I'll just tap here. This is the merging option. Are you sure you want to merge? Yes. So they are now one. They will now be moving together. So they are now one object. You can see they have joined together. So this is how it works. So this merge is normally used. The other places can use this merging to achieve something good. For instance, let me just go back. Let me undo all this merging. Let me place this circle here so you see what I want to do. I will merge this. Okay, let me make this image to be. Let me remove the gradient and put something like white. Okay, sorry. Let me use this. Okay. So let me merge these two colors. 1 and 2. Merge. Okay. I've merged them. See what I'm going to do now that I've merged them. I want this center to be transparent, so I'll just go to eraser, enable, then I'll pick the black. Okay, you see, you can see this effect. So this is how you can use this merging to achieve many things. There are many things you can achieve with it. So that's how this merging works. So with this, we have come to the end of this tutorial, introduction to Pixellab. So this is how Pixellab works. These are the tools and all the things we need for designing. So the next stages we're moving now is when we start doing actual designing, principles of design, and every other thing, so that when we are now going, we'll be flowing because we have understood the tools, way to get everything we need. So see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.